In this video I'm going to plot an accurate graph of the curve y equals x squared, which is the very basic quadratic curve, the most basic of all quadratic curves. I'm going to use a table of values to work out some points to plot. I'm going to plot them accurately and then join them up and see what the shape of the basic curve is. As you can see, I've set up the axes, the x and y axes already, and I've got a table half completed ready to work out the y values. Okay, so this is how we work out the points to plot to draw the graph of y equals x squared. Y equals x squared is the name or the equation of the graph of the curve that we're going to get, this quadratic curve. If x is minus 3, then the y value will simply be equal to, instead of x squared, we have minus 3 squared. Well, underneath here, I'll just write down here, minus 3, and I'm going to square it. I'm not going to write down the full working out every single time, because once you understand what's going on, it'll become very simple to get the workings out done. So, minus 3 squared. Well, be careful. Minus 3 squared means minus 3 times by minus 3. Minus 3 times minus 3 is a positive 9. So 9 needs to go into that little space there. Let's do the rest of them a bit more quickly. If x is minus 2, then the y number to go with it from this equation up here, from this name of the curve that we're talking about, the y number to go with it will be minus 2 squared. If you take minus 2 and you square it, a minus times a minus is a plus answer. And 2 times 2 is 4. So minus 2 times minus 2 is positive 4. That goes in there. Next, if x is minus 1, y will be minus 1 squared. Minus 1 times minus 1 is positive 1. That goes in there. If x is nothing, y will be nothing squared. Nothing squared, nothing times nothing, nothing. If x is 1, y will be 1 squared. 1 times 1 is 1. If x is 2, y will be equal to 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. And if x is 3, y will be equal to 3 squared. 3 3's are 9. Obviously the negative number ones are a bit more confusing, but if you understand that a negative times a negative gives a positive, they're really not that difficult. So remind you again, if x is minus 3, minus 3 squared, minus 3 times minus 3 gives you plus 9. So there you go, I've got 7 results in a table to plot. Now, the result that we're going to get is actually going to be a curve. It's going to be called the basic quadratic curve. Because it's a curve, we do need quite a few points to plot. And in this case, I've worked out 7 points. If we needed to work out more points on a more difficult curve, I would extend the table and add some extra points. But for this particular one, because it's an easy curve, 7 will be enough. Let's plot the points. This first point is minus 3, 9. So, on my axis I've set up, you go to minus 3 and you go up to 9, which is right at the top over here. So, something like that. Next, minus 2, 4. Go to minus 2 and you go up to 4. And you plot your point, like so. Minus 1, 1. Is minus 1 on the x and up to 1 on the y, which is there. Next is 0, 0. Now 0, 0 is right at the bottom in the centre, like so. And then we've got 1, 1, which is 1 on the x and 1 up, which is there. Then I've got 2, 4, 2 across on the x, up to 4 on the y, which is about there. And then I've got 3, 9, which is 3 across on the x and up to 9 on the y, which is about there. Now, as you can see, we're going to get a curve, and there's some interesting features about this curve that we're going to get. So if I join them up, we certainly do not get a straight line. Join them up like so. And join these up over here like so. It's supposed to be one smooth flowing curve, like so. Now, when you come to the bottom, try and make it a nice smooth flowing curve like so. What you don't want is for it to have a pointed bottom to it. You don't want to have a picture that looks a bit like that. Okay? So as best you can, a smooth flowing curve like so. And the bottom of the curve is at the bottom of what we call a U shape. Okay? And there you go. That is the y equals x squared curve. It's the basic quadratic curve. Just a couple of points that you should be aware of. You can see that it sits on the x-axis and it's actually symmetrical about the y-axis. So if you folded that bit over there, the two bits would match up. And you can see the symmetry in the actual table of values. 9410, 0149. There is a symmetry going on. If you want to make a sort of note, mental or written, that there's a symmetry going on with the y values. And that symmetry is something you should look out for in tables of values in the future. It won't always be there, as I'll explain in future videos, but many times there will be a symmetry that you can see. So there you go. This here is best remembered for future reference when we're going to do little sketches of y equals x squared graphs. The basic sketch is just that little U shape that sits in that position there. But that's how you use a table of values to work out an accurate plot of y equals x squared. And for the time being, that's the end of this video.